fight will be more interesting than our sparring sessions. And I can say to Mateo, I must break you.
And I think that's what sets me different from other fighters on this table. I'm willing to put my life on the line and bleed and come out victorious. And yeah, like I said, that's what sets me different.
What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny. In today's video, we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning tomorrow night's fight at 160 pounds in Sydney, Australia, on the undercard of the Keith Thurman versus Brock Jarvis main event between Mateo Tapia and the Russian Jake Paul, Sergey Vorobev. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please hit subscribe? My YouTube analytics are telling me that 80% of you are watching my content, and you might not be aware that you haven't hit subscribe yet. Could you also like this video and hit the bell notification button? What that allows the video to do is everyone who likes it, it pushes the video up on the algorithm, and this will help me spread the message of our boxing content. Guys, this is another video of mine that is helping me become better at not just showcasing the big North American or the big international fights. I want to start spreading the word of all the boxers that I can. Both of these guys have done good things already in their young careers, and they both have huge aspirations. Mateo Tapia is ranked in the top 20 in the world at 160 pounds, and his opponent, Sergey Vorobev, is a Russian fighter, came to Australia a few years ago with a huge social media following. They call him the Russian Jake Paul because he has a penchant of using his social media to call out other fighters. He sparred before with the likes of the Zhu brothers, and he has on his mind a big matchup if he could get through Mateo Tapia or just show a good outing with a showdown with Nikita Zhu. And with Mateo Tapia, you have a guy who took his camp from Sydney, Australia to America. He's Mexican born, and he's been training and sparring with the likes of Puerto Rican sensation Xander Zayas. So in this video, we're going to break down a little bit more in depth who these two guys are, what you fight fans can expect Wednesday night in Sydney, Australia. I'm going to go over the Las Vegas odds and talk a little bit about where I'm going to put my money. This is a prediction video. Let's get started. All right, guys, a little bit more about this fight. The fighter dubbed Russia's Jake Paul has been catapulted back into the Nikita Zhu sweepstakes after signing on to throw down against another Australia's most exciting prospects, the undefeated Mateo Tapia. Now living and training in Florida, Tapia is 17-0 with one draw. Will be making his first appearance since an incredible war against Venezuela's Endry Saavedra last October, which ended in a majority draw. That was on the same night in which Tim Tszyu suffered his brutal world title loss against IBF world champion Bakram Murtazaev. Vorobev, meanwhile, made headlines of his own last year after the now Sydney-based fighter, who has been ranked as high as number 4 domestically, posted a controversial YouTube video talking about the younger Tszyu and baiting him into a fight. The Russian, who has previously sparred with the Tszyu boys, also broke with boxing etiquette by uploading footage of himself training against Sydney-sider Kohn Mazudair. The post was put up only days out from the younger Tszyu beating Mazudair in an incredibly tough domestic scrap, and I quote, "Hey bro, it's me, number 4, Vorobev said to Nikita via his YouTube channel, where views number in the tens of millions. Good luck with your fight. I'll be there. I want to help you get the win, so let me help you." The Russian shared footage of himself sending Mazudair during sparring to the ground on one knee with a brutal shot to the ribs. Undeniably, a win over Tapia would catapult Vorobev right into the Tszyu sweepstakes. After a promising amateur career, Vorobev mixed his first 20 pro bouts between Russia and Uzbekistan, enduring only one sole loss. Following his move down under, the prospect then linked up with popular Sydney trainer Tony Del Vecchio, who branded his charge the Russian Jake Paul, thanks to both his character and huge social media following. Tapia, meanwhile, will also be looking for a change in fortunes after late last year having his coastal home in St. Petersburg, Florida, struck twice by hurricanes, which included his apartment complex flooding and cars floating down the streets. Born in Mexico and raised on Sydney's northern beaches, the 26-year-old earned a strong stoppage victory in his U.S. debut in 2024 over Eric Robles. The fighter then followed that up with a 10-round decision over Venezuela's Kiber Gonzalez in April, before then enduring a wild draw against Saavedra that saw the Australian knocked down twice and his rival drop once. With this fight, Tapia is a natural 160-pounder, and you have Vorobev coming up from 154. So Tapia, if you look at the numbers, he's going to be the taller guy, he's going to have the longer reach, and he's going to be the natural guy in that division. Vorobev is a fighter, though, who believes that he's the best in the world. He has confidence going into this fight, and with his amateur pedigree, he feels that his experience, both amateur and as a pro, will be enough to upset the 5-1 favorite. Las Vegas has this on the money line. If you were to take Tapia to win, $100 doesn't get you much in return. 100 on the Russian gets you 500 in return. So I want to take a little bit closer look at some of the prop bets and a bet that I feel is most highly touted for us to win money. Let's get into that. All right, guys, the method of victory bets, if you take Mateo Tapia to win a points or decision, it's 2-1, 100 gets you 200 back. If you pick him to knock out the Russian, it bumps your odds almost to a 3-1. The draw is 17-1. Now, if you take Vorobev to win a points or decision, 100 gets you 800 back. And if you pick the Russian to knock out Tapia, you get over $1,200 back. The bet I like the most, look guys, this is a turf war sort of thing. These guys both claim Australia now. Both of them have trained at Bondi Boxing Club. I used to work with a fighter from there, and so I would be in the gym at Bondi Boxing Club with Tony Del Vecchio, and I would see Tapia training, and the first thing I told Tony when I saw him the first time shadow boxing and getting ready for a fight is, I can't believe how long he is and how tall he is. He's listed at 6 feet tall, but he carries that height really well and he fights really long, and he's always up for a dogfight. Neither one of these guys have been knocked out. Tapia is undefeated. Vorobev does have 2 losses, but he's never been finished or knocked out. So I'm predicting this fight, even though Vorobev's coming up and he's a 5-1 underdog, I'm predicting this fight to go the distance. Now, that money's not quite at 2-1, but you would make more on the fight to go to the distance no matter who wins at $1.54, meaning 100 gets you 54. If you just pick Tapia to win, he's the huge favorite. You're only getting $12 in return. So I would add this onto a parlay. You have Keith Thurman and Jarvis on that card. You have a couple other good fighters. You have former world title contender Michael Zarafa, who is the #1 ranked 160-pounder in Australia, right above Mateo Tapia. So for a safe bet, you could think about adding a parlay, the Zarafa fight. You could add the Thurman and Jarvis fight, whichever way you look. And if you're gonna do that, I would add this fight at $1.54 to go the distance. Guys, in the comment section below, let me know what you think of this matchup. Let me know your prediction. Does Tapia, the 5-1 favorite, win, or does the Russian Jake Paul go into Sydney, the Horton Pavilion tomorrow night and upset the odds? Leave all that in the comment section below.